get me on Survivor, I will share the $1 million with you. And that proves I can do it. I can lie like a dog.
You know, it's interesting that in your audition tape you would mention I can lie, because one of the things you're struggling with right now on the show is the fact that as a Christian mom, you're playing a game which the slug of the game is outwit, outplay, outlast. So did you think about that, the Christianity and being a mom and a role model and having these dilemmas, when you said, I'm going to go do this?
Yeah, I mean, I thought, oh, I can play this game. I know it's a game. I know it's, you know, you're just playing. It's like Monopoly. But then getting out there, and you know what? I'm not playing with a little iron and a little shoe and a little top hat. I mean, these are real people with real emotions that I'm connecting with these people, and it was a lot harder than I anticipated. I couldn't just play in my head. I thought I could. My heart snuck in there and got in the way and messed me up a few times.
Yeah. You live your life under this umbrella of Christianity, but what's been nagging is the little devil in you saying, I want to have a little fun too.
Yeah, you know, it's like the Fred Flintstone. You know, he had the little little angel on one shoulder and the little devil on the other shoulder, and that was definitely going on.
Did you train for this? Did you, because you're not, Survivor, to be clear, there are a lot of reality shows that purport to be a lot of things. Survivor is the real deal. There is no hidden candy bar in a jar waiting for you. Did you train for this?
I trained hard. I mean, I've always worked out, but I just upped it. And then I also knew that it would be some specific things, like swimming in the ocean. So I hired a Navy SEAL to, you know, figure out, to help me, what would it be like swimming in the ocean. So he had me jump in with towels and swim the length of the pool.
You really took this on.
No, I did. I hired a sports psychologist to help me the mental game. I just went all in.
When Lisa was out on the island, there are moments where we do these interviews, and typically they're alone, and that's some private time. If you need to share or vent or say something evil, you were very open, very vulnerable. Take a look. Roll it.
I love French fries. I can eat French fries all day long. I'm an introvert by nature, so I don't do well with chit-chat. I'm just not very good at that.
I'm very, very shy. And so if I'm on stage, I can be behind a role. But in real life, my tendency is just to withdraw and not let anybody in.
In real life, I tend to withdraw and not let anybody in. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to investigate that little comment about staying inside. Plus, I'm going to take on to a little Survivor trivia game, and we have a Survivor fan here who's going to run the whole thing. We'll be right back. Ready, go! Scooping and Carter get there at the same time. Lisa taking on Denise, but having no luck. There you go, Lisa finally gets Denise down. Nobody can move the ball either way. This is a Survivor challenge. Look at Welchel getting all muddy. You wanted to get in it. What do you remember when you see that moment? Because that challenge was a standoff.
That was one of my favorite moments. Actually, when we get tree mail, sometimes there's a little clue that's attached to the clue, and there was a little small miniature wicker ball, and that's what I took home, because that was such a memory. And you sang in the challenge, Lisa, finding the silly in the challenge, and it was so true. I was smiling the whole time. I was having the best time.
You know, one of the things that I love most about doing the after show, when Survivor's over, we read the final votes, and then we get a chance to talk, is when you guys are on the island and you're having the experience, while you're at camp, one of the other contestants is being interviewed, and they're often talking about you. And you may think they're your best friend, and they're over there going, I'm about to cut a vote tonight. I'm going to vote her out.
Yeah.
What have you seen so far that surprised you about what people have said about you?
Well, I knew I was not in the clique, you know. I knew the girls, they didn't really like me. They were young, and I was old, or whatever, and I felt that before, and so it felt familiar. But I didn't realize they were saying that I was like a stray dog that needed to be shot. I mean, that kind of,
Because that's the trick of the game, is that you're forced to make these relationships to survive. You have to build a shelter. You have to get fire. You have to find food. and you have to vote each other out.
Yes, and you have to weigh those things. Like I noticed one of the first episodes, they all went off to talk. I guess they were kind of talking strategy, and I said, no, I'll stay here because I'm working on the fire. I had to weigh, was it more important to build a fire or to be in those conversations, and I made the wrong choice.
You stayed with the fire.
I stayed with the fire, and I should have frozen, but had a couple of people to freeze with.
Yeah. Never let a group go off.
Now you know.
Now we know. So, since you've been a fan since day one, and I have been on the show since day one, we thought it would be fun to have a little Survivor Showdown. I've been challenged many times. I've never lost a Survivor Trivia Challenge, ever.
Okay, well, so that you can't brag about that. You were in the middle of every one of these things. I have been watching it. That's like the returning players. I mean, they totally have an advantage. And besides, you haven't had children, and the memory leaves with the placenta. So I'm just going to figure that right now.
You know, it is funny that I just bragged about winning a show that I hosted from day one. That doesn't make a lot of sense.
Let's have a back to life trivia game, okay?
Yes, I would lose that. Okay, so to host our trivia, we have a young Survivor fan here. Miranda. She's here with her mom, Samantha. Miranda, how old are you?
I'm 9.
You're 9, and it's your birthday today.
Yeah.
Happy birthday. So, what is it that you like about Survivor?
I like the immunity challenges and the blind sides.
Oh.
And when you say immunity is back up for grabs. And you try Forspoken.
Wow, you really, okay, you've just qualified yourself as a super fan. Will you host our little showdown?
Yeah.
All right, let's move up here. After you. All right, so we have some questions for Miranda. We have an
Just
official...
kind of hang over here with me, okay?
Miranda, which show do you want to be on? Survivor, right?
Survivor.
Yeah, so you'll keep close to me, is who you'll keep close to. Let's be clear.
Miranda, I suppose we need to get together.
I don't know.
Okay.
You're going to read the question and all of the possible answers, and then once we hear the last answer, we're going to hit our drum, and the first person in, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, and we have some sound effects too. So Brian, if we get it wrong, what do we hear? Okay, the evil snake. If we get it right, which will be me, what do we hear? That's it. All right, girl. First question. Showdown, Welchel versus Pros.
How many times has Boston Rob competed in Survivor? 8? 8?
Did you see that look she gave you?
I did.
She looked at her like, I haven't read the answers yet.
That's right. Sorry, there was a fly. I was just kidding on you.
A, 1, B, 4, C, 3.
Oh, yeah. 4.
You're correct.
Yeah.
Okay, gotta loosen up here.
Which Survivor season did not have a tribal merge? A, Survivor the Australian Outback. B, Survivor Samoa. C, Survivor Palau.
Palau.
You're correct.
1-1.
Okay.
During Survivor Amazon Season 6, which 2 players took their clothes off in exchange for a bowl of peanut butter and a plate of Oreos during an immunity challenge? A, Jenna Moraska and Christy Smith. B, Jen Moraska and Heidi Storable. C, Christy Smith and Heidi Storable.
You're in.
B. You're correct.
All right. I got to get this one. If I don't get this and tie it up, Lisa wins.
Who was the first person voted off in Survivor Australia Outback? A, Deb Eaton. B, Kimmy Kapberger. C, Marilyn Hershey.
Yes. Good job. I love how you took your time to let me get in.
Oh.
Deb Eaton. Deb Eaton.
Yes.
Okay, so here's where we stand. So it's 2-2. We're going to go to our tiebreaker question.
Okay.
All right. And let me just say, Welchel, this is for bragging rights, no excuses, no takeovers, no do-overs, no nothing. Winner of this point gets worldwide rights. Bring it, Miranda.
Which Facts of Life cast member wore roller skates because she was too short? A. Mrs. Garrett. B. Tootie. C. Natalie. Tootie.
Of course. Kim Fields Freeman.
Nice job, Miranda. You are fantastic. Do you want to do a quick snuff of the torch? Okay, this is a snuffer from this season. Hold on. We'll get you up here. This is my torch. I will stand here. Do you want to say what you need to say to me?
Okay. Your tribe has spoken.
You are awesome. Good job, and I have something for you. More Survivor swag than you could do anything with. Happy birthday. All right, when we come back, we're talking facts of life and personal life with Lisa. We'll be right back. We're back with Lisa Welchel, who just defeated me in a Survivor/Facts of Life trivia competition. What is the single most common question you get about your time on the Facts of Life?
Almost everybody asks me if I still keep in touch with the girls.
And do you?
Absolutely. Yeah,
Really?
actually, yes.
Of course.
And as soon as it was announced I was on Survivor, I heard from Mindy Cohn, who played Natalie, and I just spent 4 days with Nancy McKeon, who played Jo at her ranch in Texas. So we actually, we really still are good friends.
One of the things you said on one of our clips is about, isolating yourself and how it's hard to be with others. Is that related to being a child actor in those temporary families you have?
I think so, because even though I grew up, on a television show about friends, that was not my experience. So even back then, I remember a time when the 3 girls came into my dressing room and they really just kind of said, "Hey, Lisa, we need you to put the book down while you're in rehearsal," because even then, I just kind of go off and get in and put my nose in a book, which is exactly what my 2nd grade teacher told my mom, which is why I got into acting in the first place, because she was worried I didn't go out and play with the kids. I would just be in a book, and she said I'm a little bit worried about her. So my mom put me in an acting class to see if it would help me overcome that shyness.
So it's interesting that you're an actor, putting yourself out there, but really inside you're extremely shy. And does that manifest itself? Is that something you're dealing with all the time? Is that what was related to what was happening on Survivor?
Oh, absolutely, because as an actor, I'm not putting myself out there. I'm hiding behind Blair, a role who she's confident, and she just, makes friends and thinks everybody loves her. And so I can hide behind that role. But being on Survivor, there was no role to hide behind. It was reality TV, and it played out. That I knew going in that I don't do chit-chat well. If I'm sitting over with somebody, I'm asking you, tell me about your parents and what's your relationship with them like. We're not talking about it.
What is it about kids that start out acting when they're young that causes this to happen so often, to become isolated, to not have true, deep friendships? You have friends you worked with, but if you're not working, you're not friends anymore.
Well, and you don't really know if anybody wants to be your friend because they like you or because of how you make them feel when they're around you, which is, again, why Survivor was so healing for me on a million levels. I got to play the game for good or for bad, accepted or rejected, as me.
As Lisa.
Yeah.
So, George Clooney, who I'm very open about my man crush on Clooney. I've been around him a few times at a couple of different little parties, and it's like I'm 12 trying to ask a girl out. I have nothing to say. and it's just a guy. So you worked with him. Now, George Clooney then was, what, a 20-year-old guy or whatever. Early 20s. Now it's George Clooney.
Yeah.
Oh, it's even different for you.
Wow. You know what? I've often said that had I known George Clooney was going to become George Clooney, I would have worn makeup to rehearsal hall a little bit more often.